Wow. Good morning. What a tournament it's been so far. Round one just finished, and round two is about ready to begin. Action-packed round one, guys.
Yeah.
Got over 1,000, over 2,000 votes total. 3,000 votes? How many votes did we have?
Like 4.
Thousands of votes. Thousands of people came in.
Yeah.
Thousands of people came in to vote in round one, and some clear-cut winners were established, and some major upsets in the works as well.
Our 2 first-round seeds are gone.
No more Microsoft, no more Google.
The 2 biggest upsets, the ones versus the 16s, essentially.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Which I think probably leads maybe to the first piece of analysis to do, and that just is that while most people probably traditionally see Google, Microsoft, larger companies as more stable traditional paths to go, I think if anything, they weren't able to rally their employees as being great employers, because one of the big things that we saw was lots of people showing up to vote for their current employer. And just frankly, a company the size of Microsoft, a company the size of Google, couldn't rally as much support within their own companies as the smaller companies Slide and Zynga could, which I think speaks volumes and absolutely puts me in my place as to whether really where the best places to work are, if they're that passionate about where they work currently.
Yeah, people lost the passion for their own employer, for God's sakes.
Yeah, who knows what was going on. Maybe they did try to rally the troops, and maybe it was already 501 at that time, and people had different things they had to do. I mean, who knows?
Right.
You know, but voting for a top employer is all about who's the most passionate,
right.
Who's the most enthusiastic, who's the most kind of genuinely behind their employer, or others that want to work for that employer. And clearly, Microsoft and Google just weren't there this time.
No, the people have obviously lost the luster of the large company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't as surprised with Microsoft Slide, but Google, I thought for sure was like, they're Tar Heels. They're supposed to make it into the championship.
They did not even show up to the tournament.
No.
Actually, Google got beat much worse than Microsoft, which could be a story in and of itself.
Yeah. Let's go through this real quick. So Slide, Slide, who was losing to Microsoft earlier on in the first round, had a huge swing right around the middle of the week, and eventually Microsoft was just not able to pull through. Slide just came through. They rallied their troops and they did it. Next we have Amazon, MySpace. Amazon, as we all predicted, just trounced on MySpace. MySpace didn't even come to the table. Yeah, nothing happened there with MySpace. Amazon definitely a powerhouse to be reckoned with in the next round.
It seems like they're probably the one of 2 big companies in the matchup where people are across the board seem really passionate about working for.
Yeah, they're very much a staple of this tournament. I'd be scared to go up against Amazon at this point. LinkedIn EA. It was a bore in my opinion.
It was kind of like the Expedia Yahoo. It was like they were close for a little bit, but then EA took the lead and then
never really gave it back.
Yeah, I think people only kind of voted for that matchup just because they were voting for other ones they actually cared about.
That's the impression that I got too. Neither EA nor LinkedIn showed up, but one of them had to win, so
it was EA.
It was EA. Okay. Yahoo Expedia, what we thought was going to be the bore of the tournament, ended up actually being a pretty exciting matchup.
Again, it was exciting from the perspective of, like, you got to vote for somebody, but it seemed like, Expedia had a pretty sizable lead for a while. Yahoo came back and clipped them by a little bit, and then, at the end of the day, Expedia was able to kind of rally back and come around for it.
Expedia was very much into this tournament. Expedia had 2 big swings, whereas Yahoo was winning early on in the tournament. Expedia swung back big, and then whereas Yahoo took the lead again towards the end of the tournament, Expedia swung back big again. I mean, that's a lot of grit, determination, just kind of raw need to winedness from 1.0 giant like Expedia. I mean, it's unexpected, but I love to see it.
People definitely, again, it seemed like a lot of the employees of Expedia came out and said, no, we really feel like this is a great place to be for the next year, and hey, I'm in.
Yeah.
Our 4 o'clock on Friday was refresh, another vote for Expedia. Refresh, another 2 votes for Expedia.
Those guys
came out in full force.
Google Zynga, the matchup of the first round, I have to say, we thought Google was going to run away with it. I think I mentioned that I'd love to see Zynga win, but had no expectation that they were going to pull it off whatsoever. Absolutely, David versus
I don't
Goliath.
think Zynga was ever down. Were they?
I don't think so either.
I think maybe the first few hours, but then they just wrecked it.
Yeah.
They're quick, they're agile, they're hungry, they're motivated. They were they had that gleam in their eye, whereas Google was just kind of there. Yeah. It was just there. I was talking to someone from Google, and I said, hey, you guys are going down right now. You guys are going to lose big. They're like, yeah, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Wow, that's a tough attitude to take on the inside.
It absolutely is, but there it was. eBay, Facebook. Trouncing.
Trouncing.
That
Yeah.
probably not a shocker.
Did either of
Yeah.
us call eBay on that one?
I don't think anyone did, and I think Facebook was absolutely, I think,
was-
misseeded on that one.
Yeah, it was never even close.
Twitter Activision. I was personally surprised to see Twitter go down, but you know, Activision nonetheless, you know, the solid employer that it was, took them.
Yeah.
Both gaming companies pick up a big win in the first round. There's only so much to say. Again, I think it boils down to that people like Twitter. And the funny thing was, a lot of our publicity and a lot of our get out the word about this was through Twitter.
Yeah.
And yet, at the end of the day, Activision still shows up strong. And I think that probably that boils down to a large part. People still don't know how Twitter's ever going to exit, and you don't put in 90-hour work weeks just for kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We chatted with some guys over at Twitter, and they threw out actually surprisingly a lot of respect to Activision, and they said, "Hey man, I mean, Activision is a better employer than we are right now. You know, maybe at one point we'll get to the kind of stature that they're at, but for now, we probably go for Activision too." You know?
I mean, Activision's been in there for like what 25 years. I mean, they're respected in the industry. It's hard to talk smack about Activision.
They're a
Really.
solid. They're another staple. I compare them to an Amazon. And then finally we have Apple AOL, the absolute pouncing of the tournament.
Oh yeah.
Just destroyed them. I'm surprised to see that AOL even got 41 of the votes. 41 compared to 517.
Yeah, which I think to us was a little more surprising than maybe it should have been. Like, I guess we kind of saw AOL as like a giant underdog.
Yeah.
A large company that is an underdog, and people absolutely don't find that interesting. Apparently, you have to be a small company and underdog if you're going to get any love in this tournament. So.
Yeah, well, AOL I don't even think knew was in the tournament.
Yeah,
Maybe the East Coast didn't get the feed or something happened there.
AOL was for sure like Arizona getting in the tournament. Everybody's like, you got to be kidding me! These guys are even here. So, too bad.